It is time to meet a leader in the world of therapy animal programs in a brand new segment we call Mission Possible. Mary Margaret Callahan is the Chief Mission Officer at Pet Partners, leading mission delivery, including the Therapy Animal Program and grassroots advocacy. With a background in education and healthcare, she is passionate about improving human health through the human-animal bond. Named one of Pet Age Magazine's Women of Influence, Mary Margaret is joining us from Duval, Washington. Mary Margaret, thank you so much for making the time today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, we want to start off in the beginning. Where did your passion and your love for animals come from?
Oh, well, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family where my father was a veterinarian, and so surrounding animals, dogs, cats, rabbits, gerbils, you name it. I think we had it as a pet once, and so that really is where love of animals started. And then I've been so fortunate where a bunch of my passions overlap: my love of animals, my deep belief in the importance of volunteerism, and my passion for education.
Well, I know it's authentic when you're around all of those animals growing up. It's like going to be an either love, 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 or really don't love situation. And I just see that sparkle in your eyes when you talk about animals. So I can't wait to just go deeper and dive in with you today. I really want to know what is maybe the big picture mission of Pet Partners?
Pet Partners' mission is to enhance human health and well-being through the human-animal bond. And the primary way that we do that is through our Therapy Animal Program, where we have wonderful pet parents who have fantastic animals they want to share with their community. So they go out and volunteer in hospitals, nursing homes, schools, libraries, to bring that amazing human-animal bond to people in their community.
That's incredible. So how long ago did you start with Pet Partners? And I imagine there have just been so many heartwarming moments along the way.
I've been fortunate enough to be with Pet Partners for 10 years now. And
Wow.
one of the best parts of my job is hearing these amazing stories that our volunteers share with us, about the impact that their animals can have on members of the public, right? Whether it's comforting a family who's waiting in the waiting room of a hospital after waiting for a loved one to come out of surgery, or maybe it's recognizing, how much their child prefers to read to a dog who's never going to correct their pronunciation, and they become a fluent reader. There's so many great ways that therapy animals can enhance our lives.
Oh, absolutely. It truly, just that love, the bond, how I know when I'm with a special animal, even the stress level just decreases, right? I mean, it's just incredible to see that. And it's almost as if these special breeds or these therapy animals are in a sense a breed of their own, right?
Well, yes, I would say that. I like that. You wouldn't believe the different animals that we have had as therapy animals. Obviously, we've got a lot of very common pets, so lots of wonderful golden retrievers or doodles who do this work. But there are just about every breed of dog has been represented as a therapy animal at one point in time or the other. And Pet Partners also registers 8 other species in addition to dogs. So while dogs are 94% of our nearly 10,000 volunteers nationally, we also register cats and guinea pigs and rabbits and miniature horses and llamas and alpacas, even pot-bellied pigs and domesticated rats.
Pot-bellied pigs, rats. Okay, you're my hero. I love it so much. I mean, your team, you're doing awesome work. Now, for those who are watching and don't know, can you maybe unpack for us the difference between, say, a service animal, a therapy animal, an emotional support animal? Because some people do get a little confused by all of the terminology. And I know you're an expert, and I know you have the answers for us.
Well, you're right. The terminology is confusing and it's commonly conflated, but I have a top secret trick that I'm willing to share with everybody today. So
Bring it.
the way that I like to think about it is therapy animals are a one-to-many relationship. One amazing dog can impact the lives of all the children in a class, or all the residents of a nursing home, or every person they visit on the floor of the hospital that day. Both emotional support animals and service animals are a one-to-one relationship. One amazing animal is there to support one fabulous human. And so that's my top secret trick. If it's a one-to-many versus a one-to-one, that's how you tell therapy animal or emotional support or service animal.
Wow, I love that. Taking something that can seem complicated and intimidating and keeping it simple. Love it. Explain to us the process for a human and a dog to become certified as an actual therapy dog. What is that process like?
Absolutely. So it is sort of a multi-step process. And one of the things Pet Partners believes really strongly in is making sure that our handlers, the person who's going with this animal and visiting in public, they're really prepared to be their animal's best advocate and really empowered to handle those situations well. So the first step, you've got to be trained, the human end of the leash. So many people want to focus on, is my dog trained? What do they need to do? Don't forget, you need to know how to do things too. So your first step at Pet Partners, you do your handler training.
There you go.
Once you've gotten that step done, then you start thinking about how you and your dog are going to work as a team, because it's not just about one or the other of you, it's you together. And so you're going to prepare for your evaluation. An evaluation is sort of like a role play, like what might happen on a visit. If you walk into a place and something falls over and a loud noise happens, how does your dog respond? How do you reassure your dog? Or you happen to walk past some people who are making noise or using a walker or have a cane. Is your animal going to be comfortable in these environments? That's what we're really looking for.
Perfect.
We want therapy animals to believe we want therapy animals to think that this was a party thrown in their honor. We want them to really enjoy what they do, right? And so that's what we're looking for. That's what we want. Anybody could sort of force an animal or drag an animal to do something like this, but the really effective, wonderful, powerful moments are when your therapy dog is there enjoying it just as much as you and the person you're interacting with.
Right, because you don't want it to be drudgery for anyone, right? We can have this desire, but if the animal isn't cooperating, that's not going to be fun for anyone. And I love what you were saying about the importance of us preparing ourselves, thinking a couple steps ahead, and then bringing our best to the table for our animal and for those that, we're looking to serve as well. Such helpful, super tips there. I know that Pet Partners is really active in the community. Can you share with us some of the events that you have?
Absolutely. So in addition to our therapy animal program where people sort of choose where they want to volunteer in their communities, we do have some big events every year that are fun for anyone to participate in, even if you don't have a therapy animal at the moment. I've got 3 dogs right now. None of them are therapy animal material currently. I've got a puppy that needs a little more training, and I've got a dog who just wouldn't enjoy it. But what we can do, coming up this fall, World's Largest Pet Walk, we'll be there. World's Largest Pet Walk is a fun event, encouraging people to get out and be active with their pets. And so that's one of our great events every fall. We also celebrate National Therapy Animal Day every April. That's where we are having therapy animals be recognized by local and municipal and even statewide governments for the amazing contributions and service they make in their communities.
That is so great. It's welcome to everyone. Anyone can participate. So dog moms, go ahead, mark your calendars and try your best to get involved. So tell us, what insights, what tips, tricks have you gained from successful therapy animal teams that typical dog moms that are watching, all of you out there are going, yes, typical dog moms could use to help strengthen our bonds with our dogs? What tips do you have?
Absolutely. So maybe you are a passionate dog mom and you think, gosh, maybe this would be something interesting for me, or maybe you just want to be a better pet parent. Both of those things, great. I think the key thing for anybody who spends time with a pet, a beloved pet in their life, is that you develop really strong two-way communication, right? A lot of times when we think about first getting a dog, it feels like one-way communication. We're constantly telling our dog, sit, don't get on the sofa, leave that, you can't eat shoes, all those things. And really what we want to do is be able to communicate to our dog, but we need to be able to pay attention to hear what they're saying back to us. So can you read your animal's body language? Do you have a trusting relationship where your animal knows you're going to be acting in their best interest? So when you ask them to do something, they're going to be more obliged to do it. So really work on that communication. Do you know what your animal's saying to you all the time? And you can do that really casually if you want. Pay attention on walks, just be more observant. Or I will say, go out and participate in some training that's something you and your dog enjoy together. It doesn't matter whether you're doing therapy animal training or you're doing fly ball or agility or scent work. There's so many great activities out there. You and your animal learning something new together is going to help you be better two-way communicators.
I love that. It builds your bond and it can be a lot of fun. And it also makes your dog feel like you're really for them. You know, it's not all about us telling them, do this, do that. It's like, here's some fun things that we can do together that you enjoy. Mary Margaret, I know that you've had a lot of interesting experiences. Are there any really special standout moments as you just reflect on your journey with pet partners that you'd like to share?
You know, I do have a favorite story that I'll share if you'll humor me.
Of course.
I live on a farm right now, so I love all animals. I love dogs and cats, but we also have miniature donkeys and we have goats and we have sheep and things like that. And my favorite all-time therapy animal story is actually a miniature horse story. Oh. So I met this wonderful handler. Her name's Heidi, and she had a miniature horse named Trusty. And they would regularly visit at an assisted living facility in their community. And Trusty was just this little miniature horse, and they would go into the community room and they'd make the rounds and people would pet the horse and chat with Heidi. And it was this wonderful event that they looked forward to every week. Well, one week they come in and they see a gentleman sitting in the corner they hadn't met before, and Trusty the horse sort of looked at him and started walking that direction. And she thought, all right, well, we'll walk over here. And so
that's where we're going.
She introduced herself and said, I'd like you to, she said, I'd like to introduce you to my horse, Trusty. And this gentleman said, well, that's not a horse. And they had this laugh because he had grown up on a ranch in Montana and was used to big horses and cattle farming. And they had this wonderful conversation about the horses he had known through his life and the first horse he had ever ridden and his favorite horses. And they had this lovely conversation. And she said, well, we're going to meet some other people. We'll stop back and see you next time we're here. Such a pleasure. Trusty enjoyed meeting you. And as they walked to the next group of people, one of the nurses ran from across the room and said, you were talking to him. What was he saying? I can't. And she said, oh, well, we just had a nice conversation. We talked about horses. And she said, this gentleman just moved in though, and he's got advancing dementia. He's been so confused he hasn't spoken to anyone in 3 days. But here she was having this lucid conversation because he was able to recall from his youth the horses that were important to him. And that wouldn't have happened if a horse hadn't come into the assisted living facility that day.
Wow, what a story of just of heart and connection, and you never know the impact. You never know the impact you're making. Don't. And I just love that. What a beautiful, beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now, if folks want to hear more stories, of course, because that's probably one of thousands of beautiful stories, but if they want to keep tabs on what's going on with Pet Partners, what is the best way to do so?
Well, I certainly encourage you all to visit our website, petpartners.org, and follow us on social channels. We've got wonderful stories from our volunteers, from the work that we're doing. Awfully cute pictures of dogs, I'm just saying. So be sure to stop by. And maybe while you're there, consider if you and your dog are ready to become a therapy animal team.
Love that. Well, we have been visiting with Mary Margaret Callahan, the Chief Mission Officer at Pet Partners. Thank you so much, Mary Margaret.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching this Dog Mom News clip. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome and informative Dog Mom News content. And while you're at it, ring the bell so that you can find out about more content in real time. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, everyone.